I told you this place was a fixer-upper. That's why we got such a great deal on it." "More like a terror downer," I mumbled. "Come on, give it a chance," he said. "The realtor says it's got great bones." "So did the dinosaurs," I reminded him, pushing open the car door and unfolding my numb legs. "And look what happened to them." As soon as I stepped outside, salt air flooded my nostrils so tangy it made me cough. The wind whipped my long hair around my head in bright pink swirls. "Can you believe it?" Dad nudged me with his elbow. "That's our backyard." He pointed past the house where the ocean crashed and gurgled. It sounded like the white noise machine Gran used to use at night to block out the sounds of the city. But there was no danger of city noise here. Instead, seagulls swooped overhead, their screeches like nails on a chalkboard. Over a ridge of tall whipping seagrass, I caught flashes of the glinting surf and the grayish, clay-like sand. And beyond that, the endless water, foaming and seething. Somehow it was even angrier than the sky. "No," I said sullenly. "I can't believe it." It was way too much nature for my taste. I missed New York's kind of sea, the kind made of glass and steel and concrete. Solid things, not like the wild, surging force out there. But apparently, I didn't get a say in the matter. I trudged behind Dad up the rickety porch steps. The front door of Winklevoss Manor had once displayed a large panel of colorful stained glass, but now it was boarded up from the inside with plywood. Broken shards of the original door gaped like an open mouth with sharp, glistening teeth. "I guess we know what our first project will be," said Dad. When he opened the door, it creaked like someone moaning in pain, which seemed about right. The air inside was thick and musty. Years of grime coated the windows, dyeing the light that trickled in a sickly brown color. The wallpaper had yellowed and curled at the edges, and a thick blanket of dust covered every surface. I sucked in a lungful of it and coughed a little more dramatically than was necessary. The living room was crammed full of stuff, most of it toppled and broken, like someone had trashed the place on the way out. The furniture and knickknacks cluttering the place looked a million years old, everything floral, fringed, and faded. I half expected to see someone's granny on the lumpy sofa, hunched over her knitting. But not my granny, of course. Gran had no tolerance for typical grandma things like cats or hard candy or needlework. "Who does all this junk belong to?" I asked. "Us," said Dad. "We bought the house fully furnished." A brief look of concern passed over his face. Finally. I didn't realize quite how furnished it would be. Something thumped upstairs, deep in the recesses of the cavernous house. Dad and I both froze and slowly raised our eyes. "What was that?" I asked, trying to sound more annoyed than nervous. In fact, I was an equal mix of both. "Just the normal moans and groans of an old house like this," said Dad, plastering a smile back onto his face. "It's probably a rat," I grumbled, "or a raccoon." Then I brightened suddenly, struck by a promising thought. "Maybe there's an infestation." "Why do you sound excited by that idea?" asked Dad. "Isn't that fraud or something, if they sell us a house with an infestation?" I asked. Dad was an attorney, so I knew the best way to get his attention was to speak his language, legalese. "Maybe we can get our money back." Dad shook his head. "Florida has all sorts of critters. We have accepted that risk, I'm afraid." "We?" I said, lifting an eyebrow. "And when you say all